being there for each other. Can we imagine a world where we are all there for each other? Can we perform that world? The ESI Institute is a being there for each other operation, bringing people together and supporting those who reject a culture of getting in favor of a developmental culture of giving. Our director, Lois Holzman, likes to use the metaphor of a rhizome to describe our activity. Rhizomes are plants like ginger and turmeric. Those lovely spices are not roots, but underground stems. They spread horizontally. When they find a good spot, send up new shoots. What you have then is interconnected plants with no beginning and no end, completely decentralized and yet one, each in their own cultural context, all of them building stages for development, inviting everyday people to build community, to create new forms of life. This rhizomic activity, this social giving activity, is how we oppose this often ugly, cruel, uncaring culture of getting. We create new bonds, branch out and break through the barriers that constrain us, learning from one another, gathering our collective strength, reinitiating development. Breaking through barriers to create something new takes courage. In some cases, Wycliffe in Kenya, the military may come after your young people's performance. Or imagine the backlash from elders in Uganda when David supports girls in creating new village girl forms of life. And then the less dramatic but still dispiriting days of facing indifference or even disdain for your efforts. We all need community. We need to be there for each other. The life energy of our rhizomic community is in the world, quietly proliferating. For 45 years, we've produced books, articles, conference presentations. At first, we were viewed with suspicion as independent scholars, but our theoretical work, never separable from building community, won over many who were also advocating a cultural approach to understanding human life. We became colleagues and friends and have participated together in chipping away at the edifice of so-called scientific psychology. While traditional psychology still stands tall, lots of innovative practices have emerged alongside social therapy, and our influence is moving from the fringe to the mainstream. I was delighted to see an article in a recent New York Times. Have we been thinking about ADHD all wrong? Listen to this. Rather than trying to treat and resolve the biology, we should be focusing on building environments that improve outcomes and mental health. Goes on to say, that might sound a little mushy, that the point of ADHD treatment is to help you build relationships and improve your self-esteem, rather than the more scientific sounding goal of repairing your malfunctioning brain. Is it possible to measure the size of our contribution to this shift? I recently discovered Gianni Rodari, children's author and resistance fighter in Italy. In one story, he has two children discussing measurement. How much does a teardrop weigh? One asks. The other answers, depends. A willful child's teardrop weighs less than the wind, but that of a starving child weighs more than the world. So I ask you, how much does a tear of joy weigh when stigmatized mentally ill men and women discover they have something to give to building an environment for development, for friendship? How much does their parents' pride weigh when they're performing on stage in front of a packed house? How much does a street child's surprise weigh an adult takes seriously their capacity to build community, create their lives? When a play about the status of women is performed in a very poor traditional community, how much does the participation of men and boys in the discussion weigh? Our community is busy, sprawling, alive, complex, nourishing. We're there for each other. And we're committed to continuing to grow quantitatively and qualitatively. It's you that makes it possible. Let's keep this rhizome propagating. Help us keep extending our reach.